Okay. So the question that we have is, we've got a quantity demanded of 2,500 minus 5p, quantity supplied of 5p minus 500. The free trade terms of trade price is 200. We tack on a tariff of 100, and that drives the terms of trade price down to 120. So always start off drawing your graph. It's just a really good way to get your head around the problem. So the first thing we want to do is draw our demand curve. So if the quantity is 0, 2,500 minus 5 times the price has got to be 0. So that means it starts off at 500. If price is 0, you want to buy 2,500 of these guys. If the price is 100, 5 times 100 minus 500 is 0. That's where quantity supplied equals 0. That's where we start off. We have a terms of trade price of 200 under free trade. We tack on the tariff that drives down the price in the rest of the world to 120, and that drives the price in our country up to 220. So again, if we were small, it wouldn't actually drive down the price. The price in our country would have to go up by 300, but you can tell we're large because the terms of trade price is moving. So what we want to do is calculate consumer surplus, producer surplus, all of that goodness. So how do we do that? Well, if we start off in free trade, the price is 200. 2,500 minus 5 times 200 is consumption of 500. Under free trade, the price is 200. 200 times P, 5 is 1,000 minus 500. Oh, that's what I just said, sorry. Over here, demand, 2,500 minus 5 times the 200 is 1,500 is the imports. Okay, so that's where we start off. Then we tack on the tariff, the price falls to 120. The price in our country is going to be 220. So quantity demanded, 2,500 minus 5 times 220 is 1,400. Quantity supplied is 5 times 220 minus 500. So that means our quantity supplied is going to go up to 600. So then we've got our areas. A, B, C, D, E, F, and G will be our terms of trade effect. Again, make sure you label these on your exams, otherwise you're going to lose points needlessly. So, free trade. Consumer surplus is area A, B, C, D, E. So, 1/2 times the base of 1,500 times the height, 500 minus 200, for a grand total of 225,000. So, producer surplus under free trade is area F. They get 200 apiece for each of the 500 they sell. So 1/2 times the base, 500, times the height, 200 minus 100, or a grand total of 25,000. Total surplus is what producers get plus what consumers get, for a total of 250,000. So under the tariff, what do things look like? Consumer surplus falls to area A. So how come? Because the price consumers pay goes from 200 up to 220. So 1/2 the base, 14, times the height, 500 minus 220, means consumer surplus is going to drop to 196,000. What about producers? Well, producers don't get a price of 200 now, they get a price of 220, and they sell an extra 100. So producer surplus is going to go up to B and F. So 1/2 the base, 600, times the height, 220 minus 100. So producer surplus goes up to 36,000. Tariff revenue is what the government gets. For each of these that they bring in, the level of imports, they collect the tariff of 100 on that. So that's area D and G, which is 80,000. So what's total surplus? Total surplus is what producers get, plus what consumers get, plus what the government gets, A, B, D, F, and G. You add all those guys up, and we get 312,000. Where did C and E go? Those guys are dead weight loss. So it's the fact that we're making 100 more than we should, and we're buying less than we ought to. So it's 1/2 the base, 100, times the height, 20, plus 1/2 the base, 100, times the height, 20. So dead weight loss is 200. So how much did total surplus move? Well, it went from 250 up to 312. So that means total surplus changed by 62,000. So again, when you do these things, make sure you label where they are in the graph That's going to be important for the exam. And then if you want to look at the numbers, where the formulas were for all of these, just look at the answer key that's posted on Blackboard.